Okay. All right. So we've got sine 10 degrees there is equal to m. So sine 10 degrees is equal to m. As I told you yesterday, we need to put the denominator. In this case, the denominator is going to be a 1. Right? Then you need to, in this case, we have got sine. We know from grade 10 that sine theta is y over r. So your m is going to be y and your r is going to be 1. So m is going to be y and 1 is going to be r. So we don't have x here. Okay, x is unknown. So we use the theorem of Pythagoras. So it will be r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. Now remember what I said yesterday, whenever you are answering a question of this type, the first thing that you must do is to determine all three, that is x, y, and r. Then you draw a sketch. Okay? So this is Pythagoras. Right? Generally in trig, there is no mark given for writing this reason, but just always write it down. Okay, so this is r squared, that's x squared, that's the one we want, plus y squared, which is equal to m squared. Okay, let me just put the 1 here. So this will be 1 squared. So x squared will be equal to 1 minus m squared. And x will be the square root of 1 minus m squared. Right? So now I've got my x. I need to draw a sketch. Okay. Please, when you're drawing the sketch, make sure you try your best to make sure that the triangle is really a right angle triangle. Because I have seen learners drawing a non-right angle triangle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least a person, when they see it, they must see that, okay, this is a right angle triangle. All right? So here, our reference angle is 10 degrees. Obviously, this will be 80 degrees. Okay? As I said yesterday, these two angles are complementary. Okay? So you just subtract the one that you are given from 90 degrees, then you get the other one. Okay? It's very helpful to get the second acute angle, because you might need it when you are doing your question, when you are answering the questions. So here, it's important as well to know that the horizontal distance, that's x. So this will be the square root of 1 minus m squared. The vertical distance, that's y. So this is equal to m. And obviously the hypotenuse, that's r. Okay. Once you have done this first part, okay, you are almost there. Okay, the rest is just reduction. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. Now, next page, now we're going to answer B1, sine 350. What is sine 350 in terms of m? So, sine 350 degrees, we use reduction to reduce 350 degrees to an acute angle. 350 degrees is in the fourth quadrant. Okay? So which angle can we subtract from 360 to get 350? 10 degrees. So this will be minus sine 10 degrees. Then you go to your diagram. Okay? You can use trig ratios here. This is the reference angle. That's the opposite side. This is the hypotenuse. So sine 10, you can use the diagram, or you can use the original equation. Sine 10 degrees is equal to m. So our answer here, it will be minus m. Okay? There is no guessing involved. You must know what you are doing. Yeah, some people will guess. Right, then number 2, we've got sine minus 10. Sine minus 10 degrees. Remember, the sine of a negative angle is equal to the negative sine of the positive angle. Right? So the answer here, it will be minus m. Okay? The sine of a negative angle is equal to the negative of the sine of the positive of that angle. Right, then cos 260. Okay. Now, in which quadrant is 260? Third quadrant. Is cos positive or negative? Negative. This is 260. It's in the third quadrant. So which angle can you add to 180 to get 260? Huh? Which angle can you add to 180? It's 80 degrees. So this will be minus cos 80 degrees. Okay? It's minus cos 80 degrees. Now, since we have got 80 degrees on our diagram, go back to the diagram, then use your knowledge of SOHCAHTOA. This is your reference angle. This is the opposite side, that becomes the adjacent side. So it will be sine 80 is equal to adjacent, which is m over 1. Okay? And also you can use co-ratios. If you want to make things easy, cos 80 is equal to sine 10 degrees. So the answer here is going to be minus m. Cos 80 is equivalent to sine 10. What is sine 10? It's m. Right? And then cos 10 degrees. Cos 10 degrees, you go to your diagram. Okay? You've got your diagram there. So our reference angle is 10 degrees. This is 10 degrees. That's the opposite side. This is the adjacent side. Okay, so to be adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so the answer will be square root of 1 minus m squared. It's not necessary to write all over 1 because any number divided by 1, the answer is the number itself. Okay, it's not necessary to divide that answer by 1. Then tan 170. Tan 170 degrees. Now, in which quadrant is 170? Second quadrant, right? So which angle can we subtract from 180 to get 170? 10 degrees. So this is the same as minus tan 10 degrees. Now, do we know what tan 10 is? If we don't know, we go back to the diagram. Okay? So, our reference angle is 10 degrees. Tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So it will be m divided by square root of 1 minus m squared. So this will be equal to m divided by the square root of 1 minus m squared. Okay? Please be aware that at this stage, because you are in grade 11 now, trig ratios, that is SOHCAHTOA, should be natural to you now. Do you understand? It should be natural to you. You should not need SOHCAHTOA anymore. It should be in the head. Yes. Okay, let's put the negative. Alright? So, we add our negative there. Okay, the answer is negative m divided by square root of 1 minus m squared. Alright. Now, this one now, it looks scary, but it's not that difficult. So you have got tan 200 degrees is equal to k. Okay? Now, because of reductions, okay, generally when you are working with questions like this, your angle here must be acute. Fortunately, we can rewrite this as tan 20 degrees is equal to k. By using what? Reduction. Because 200 is in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, tan is what? Positive. Okay? If you check with your calculator, tan 200 is equivalent to tan 20 degrees. They are equivalent. So if you have got tan 200, you can replace it by tan 20 degrees. Then after that, you carry on. So the denominator is 1 there. Right? So we are going to have our y, which is the k, and our x, which is the 1. Then r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. That's Pythagoras, right? Then r squared is equal to x, which is 1, y is equal to k. So r is going to be the square root of 1 plus k squared. Okay? Then we draw our diagram. Okay? We draw our diagram. Our reference angle is now 20 degrees. Okay? So r is the square root of 1 plus k squared, and y is equal to k, and x is 1. Okay? Right? Once you have got all this information, your x, your y, your r, and your diagram, you should be ready to answer the rest of the questions. And you can totalize, yes? Okay. It's in the third part. Right? When you're answering the question on letters, okay, the angle here, it must be acute. So I've used the reductions because tan 200 and tan 20 degrees, they're equivalent. Right? Also, in the third quadrant, both x and y are what? Negative. So if you divide the negative and the negative, you get what? Positive. So here, it don't make any difference. Right? And please, don't confuse questions on the Cartesian plane with this. Here we are representing the ratio by a letter. Since we have to draw a sketch like this one here, if you have got a non-acute angle, reduce it what? To an acute angle. And then you work from there. Alright? Okay. Can we carry on? Can we carry on? We have got 2 lessons, remember? So we are carrying on. Alright. So from there now, let's answer the question. Right, the first question is tan 20. Okay, do you see that we have to get tan 20? Yeah. That's why you need to reduce that 200 to what? 20 degrees. Right? Alright, so tan 20. So this is D1. Tan 20 degrees. Okay, I don't have to stress about this one, it's equal to k. Okay? No stress there. No stress. Alright? And then tan 340. Tan 340 degrees. You see, if you use the reduction, we know that tan 340 is in the 340 is in the what? 4th quadrant. Tan is what? Negative. So this will be equal to minus tan 20 degrees. So the answer will be negative. Okay? 8. Are you following how I got minus k? This side there, are you following? Right? I use reduction. Right? Then, number 3, we have tan minus 160. In which quadrant is my minus 160? Huh? Minus 160 is in which quadrant? Second or third? It's in the 3rd quadrant. Okay? So, here, can we have one lesson? It's better here to add 360 degrees to it to make it what? Positive. Whenever you have got negative angles, okay, add 360. If the angle is still negative, add another what? 360 until it's positive. So this will be tan 200. We know that 200 degrees Okay, so it's going to be equal to K. Are you following? Huh? Right, and then sine 200. Okay, we use reductions. 200 degrees is in the third quadrant, so this will be minus sine 20
Do we
degrees.
have the under 14 hockey girls? Under 14 hockey girls, please come to Paris now.
Okay, now sine 20, this is our reference angle, that's the opposite side, this is the hypotenuse, so it's going to be negative K divided by the square root of 1 plus K squared. Okay? I hope you are following. Hey. Right, and then cos 20. Cos 20 degrees, this will be equal to, you go back to the diagram. This is your reference angle. Opposite side, adjacent side. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So that will be equal to 1 divided by the square of 1 plus K squared. And then you are done. All right?